Hi everyone, it's Miss Reister. I wanted to take a second and talk you guys through the teacher graded assignment, TGA 1.11. I'm getting a lot of questions through email, and so I just wanted to make sure that you guys are knowing the correct place to look and get information. So if you remember, you should have watched that video at the very beginning before you started working in the course, and I told you each time you work in science to go under content and then go under the lesson that you need to be on. And you would know that by looking at your course calendar. What is in your schedule? So what you were seeing on the class homepage, these things are only graded assignments. So quizzes, tests, teacher graded assignments. The lessons that are in between, which are required, they're not optional, they're not showing on your daily schedule. So you have to go in under content. And so for you guys that are working on the drop and bounce lab, there are all these instructions in here that if you're not going in through this way, you're not seeing. So drop and bounce says you're performing a virtual experiment in this lesson. So in 1.08, it's a virtual experiment. And you have to follow the steps exactly. You're doing a simulation. You do not need lab materials for this. And it says you'll use the data that you collect and your experience to complete and submit your lab report later in 1.11. So you guys are getting to 1.11 and not reading this information. And so it's very confusing. You don't understand what to do. And even here it says drop and bounce 1, submit report in lesson 11. So you need to read this stuff very carefully so you're understanding what to do. So when you get into lesson 1 and the laboratory part of it, that's where the simulation is. And so you'll have just gone through data collection, and it talked about how to create a data table and things like that. So you'll be doing that in this lab. And if you read the directions of each page very carefully, then you know exactly what to do. And then when you get to 1.11, if you look up here, it shows this is the lab part you're submitted for grading. The lab report document you'll be completing is set up in a template format to guide you on how to correctly submit or complete a lab report. Please read the directions carefully and be sure to type an answer in each section where you're instructed to do so. Title, intro, data and observations, discussion, and conclusion. Before you fill in your answers, please delete all the text in brackets. So there's a video here if you don't know what to do. And then I have students who are just, I don't know if you're going and skipping the lesson and you're going right to the lab report. But I've had several students open this and they're looking at it and they're submitting nothing. They submit the page just like this. Or they are thinking that the lab has something to do with the effect of soap on surface tension of water. And that, again, is just a template. It's just giving you an idea of what each piece of the report should look like. I'm also having a lot of students submit this as their data table. And so when you look at the drop and bounce lab in 1.8, you have 3 different temperatures, and you need to be doing that trial 3 different times and getting an average. So you're looking at a much bigger data table than this. So this is not something you're able to use. You're going to have to create your own and put it in this page. And then there are other things that you can get as far as what to do better and how to make that lab report better by going to the recording and watching it. And so I'm directing a lot of you to the recording, and you may have not watched orientation, so you don't know how to get to any of those things. So when you're on the home page and you go to content, the Class Connect and lesson recordings are here. So when you pull this up and click link to recordings, you're able to see 1.08 has a recording to watch. 1.11 has a recording to watch. So that way you know exactly what you should be doing. So that should help you guys, and make sure that you're checking and looking through those before you submit your work so that you know it's correct. So let me know if you have questions on 1.08 or 1.11 before you start submitting those. Because you don't get multiple tries to get those teacher graded assignments correct. All right, have a great day.